And we are live. Welcome everybody to Lubbock Compact Live for Wednesday, August the 16th. I am your host, Adam Hernandez, here with my co-host, Joshua Schenkels. And we have a great guest on the show with us today, Christy Reeves with Habitat for Humanity. Christy, thanks for joining us.
It's a pleasure. Great to see you guys.
Yeah, it's been a little while, and Christy's been very busy. We've been very busy. But as we said, Christy Reeves is with Habitat for Humanity, and I know that the Blitz build will be coming up soon. If you have not heard of the Blitz build or what all Habitat for Humanity does, this is the show for you. Please share this far and wide. Also, don't forget that if you have questions for Christy, this is the time. She's right here. We got her live on air, so you can put those comments or questions down in the comment section and we'll get them answered for you. So without further ado, Josh, you want to kick us off with the interview?
Yeah. Hey, Christy, thanks for joining us. We're so glad you could be here. I know this is an interview we've been arranging for a long time. Our sincere apologies to your workout class.
They love it when I give them a sub. I'm sure she's not gonna make them do so many push-ups.
Put this on everybody's earphones for next week. Be like, check out the show, y'all. Adam already said you're with Habitat for Humanity. You're a fixture in our community, but just to set a baseline with the audience, take a moment, introduce yourself. Tell us about Habitat and tell us about the Lubbock chapter of Habitat for Humanity specifically.
Well, yeah, I'm Christy Reeves, and I am the executive director of Lubbock Habitat for Humanity. What a blessing in my life it's been. It'll be 5 years in October. I can't believe it. And I just don't think I'll ever leave. It's just such a blessing. I feel so honored to be given the opportunity to serve in this role, and just couldn't do it without a great team and the community. The volunteers really are Habitat. So we are part of Habitat International. But what's cool about Habitat, everything's cool about Habitat, but one of my favorite things is, even though we're part of the mothership, which is a really great thing, we are very local because each affiliate, we're called the Lubbock affiliate, really operates so independently. We have a local board. I answer to the board and the chairman, who's just a great person. We always have great people on the board. And we have our own bylaws. All the money we raise for Lubbock Habitat for Humanity stays here. It stays in the local banks, and we use it to build houses in Lubbock. And you have to live in Lubbock to be a Habitat homeowner. If someone else in another place wanted to do that, they would have to start a Habitat affiliate there. And of course, we have them in all the major cities. It is sad that the rural towns around Lubbock usually aren't that big to be able to start one. Just had a man in from Petersburg in the Restore the other day that was upset. We couldn't help him. And I said, well, try to start one or get Plainview to start a Hale County. If we ever got to a point where we grew big enough, maybe we could look at trying to combine with some of the smaller places because they need housing so bad. But right now it's all Lubbock, but it is nice. If you give directly to Lubbock Habitat, the money will be used in Lubbock. So that's cool. And we're an affordable housing organization. We're a nonprofit Christian-based ministry, but we're ecumenical. All faiths, people with no faith. We want everybody to do Habitat, but that is how it started. It started in the South. A Bible scholar, Clarence Jordan, saw what was happening there in the 70s. And he was horrified, with horrible racism and just segregation and things. And the Klan, all that was going on. And so he's like, we've got to do something. So he started Kiona Farms, and I probably pronounced it wrong, but it was this great little community of all kinds of people coming together to do farming, to just show that all kinds of people can work together. And a guy passing through, Millard Fuller, was just going to stay like a little bit. And he ended up staying like over a month. He was just fascinated, loved it. And he's the one who started Habitat. They just decided, maybe everyone deserves a decent place to live. And that's a way we can kind of start, with housing, because they just saw horrible, situations. So it started to promote racial equality through affordable housing. And that's fundamental to Habitat and diversity and all of those wonderful things. And the first Habitat house in the United States was built in San Antonio, Texas. So I just was there for a conference. So it's exciting. And Lubbock started in 1987, our affiliate, and it has gone through good times and bad. But it's going really well now. We built hundreds of homes, and right now we're trying to build 4 to 6 houses a year and make them quality homes, make sure we have homeowners that are really ready to own a house, to live in them. And they'll pay a no interest affordable mortgage when they've done all their education hours. There's 150 hours they have to do, financial literacy, learning all the things we should learn in school. We should have all learned. Yeah, I didn't learn when I was younger. And then they also have to do 100 hours of construction on a Habitat house, or their own house. By the time they close, they should be ready, and they pay Habitat once we close. We're their mortgage lender. They pay us their no interest affordable mortgage. It's based on their income, not the cost of the house. I raise money to front the construction costs, and we use volunteers to build them. Only 2 full-time construction staff. We've never had 2 full-time until just this past May. Someone gave us the funding to have a second full-time person, and we're building out a subdivision in East Lubbock, and we're so excited, and we need everyone in Lubbock to do Habitat. Everybody. It's the way we can bring everyone together.
Yeah, you touched on this a little bit, but just for folks out there that don't really know how this works, or they don't even know that they could get a house with Habitat for Humanity here in Lubbock. Can you tell them kind of in detail, what does that look like from start to finish, getting a home with Habitat for Humanity?
Yes, I'm so thrilled to do that, because there are so many people that should be Habitat homeowners. Anyone can apply, period. And then what you do to start that process, we have workshops. They're required as an affordable housing organization. We don't have set dates and times, but we'll see, like when we have a need, like when so many people are asking us, we keep all their information. So anyone can just contact Lubbock Habitat for Humanity on go by the Restore, or call me, or call our local number, or go on our website, but Facebook's better. But they need to find us and just give us their contact information. Then when we have the workshop, we send that information out to everyone who's contacted us, and they show up. And we do them on Saturdays so that people who work or at night can come. We do them usually in the area kind of near where we're building. We did the last one at First United Methodist Church. We've used Broadway Church of Christ. We've used Prosperity Bank downtown. We've used May Simmons. If you have a good venue for a workshop, let me know. And we usually like places that don't charge, and we'll have hundreds of people now coming, which is kind of sad that many people need it, but exciting too that people are willing to reach out to get help. So anyone can come, and at the workshop, you're going to find out what it takes to apply for a Habitat house. The Lubbock County affordable housing income brackets change. So we'll have the latest, and we usually qualify people at the lowest bracket according to what that is at the time. So we'll tell everybody how much you can make to qualify. Some people make too much, and that's why they might leave the workshop, because they make too much, or we can help them maybe find another program. But then if they think they'll qualify income wise, then they can learn how to fill out the application. They get the application there. We walk them through several hours of just walking through, answering questions. They can sit there and fill it out right then. We want them to. It's a really big process for them. It's not that hard, but it's a big step. And then a lot of people take it with them, and we always know they might be ready to be a homeowner if they bring it back. Even if it's not accurate or all complete, we'll totally help them. But if they just don't ever bring it back, they're not ready, and that's fine. It's a big step, so they can come back anytime they're ready. If they bring it in, then we go through those applications. We use volunteers. It's a volunteer committee, the homeowner selection committee. You could be on that committee. Sheila Patterson Harris chairs that committee, and her daughter was a Habitat homeowner. And it's just a great group of volunteers, all kinds of people. A lot of them have mortgage lending experience, so they're really good. But, we want everyone who has some kind of income, even if it's just a disability check, if they have an income coming in, no matter how small, and they're willing to work at qualifying, we think they can probably do it. If they have a lot of debt, like student loans they took out, but they never finished school, but they have these loans, or Payday loans get people a lot, just people kind of prey on, individuals sometimes, and they just buy into that and take out these loans. Well, we don't say no. We say, join the Home Buyers Club. It's a group we have. That means you have to work on some things to get your debt down a little bit and get in better financial shape before you're ready to be a homeowner and make that payment. So they come to class, and the class is every week, and it's put on by volunteers, and Texas Tech students help us from the financial literacy department, the KEY program. They're great. Anyone can teach us classes. If you want to do it free for us, let us know. And they come to class and they learn so much. And then they can specifically get help working on the things that are keeping them from qualifying. And it's really going well. So once they've done that, they can qualify. They join the partnership program. They start doing their hours. And if they've already been doing classes, that counts. So they just really need construction. And then, or if people are just ready, they're in great shape, then they can go faster and they can just do the classes, do the construction. If they come to class every week, if they knock out that construction, which we always have opportunities to do, then they're going to be ready. And we get that house going. We start building that house with volunteers. We get that house done. They're done with their hours. We re-qualify them. You don't want to go buy a car or buy something for your grandchildren like furniture and use your name. We try to teach them not to do that. If they do that, it's going to take a little longer. We have to work with them to get that down. But once they're ready and they save the little down payment that we tell them right in the beginning, they have to help save, and we help them do that, then we are ready to close. And we will set a date at service title. We will close on that house. The best thing I do is go to closings and they see that sheet and they realize what they're going to pay for their affordable payment. 0 interest is amazing. It's going to pay off that house. You don't get that anywhere else. We're just so blessed we can do that at Habitat. And then their payment is usually maybe even half as much as they were paying in rent, having nothing to show for it. We make them do sweat equity, but they're going to build equity. They've just been throwing their money away. And half the time it's a terrible place to live, or they may have a terrible landlord. So they're going to pay less to own a home. And so once we've closed, we are their mortgage lender. The relationship changes. We have our loan originator license to do that. Someone in our office does that. And she has to keep that renewed. So they come and make their affordable payment to Habitat every month. And they're no interest payment. If they have something happen, like diagnosed with cancer, lose a job, and they're willing to communicate with us and try to make some kind of payment, or we will work with them. We can even redo their mortgage. If they're willing to keep working, we'll work with them, and we won't give up on them, because life happens and it's a ministry. But we are so excited. So many older homeowners are paying off their houses, and it's so exciting. So we love it. But yeah, everyone should contact us about being a Habitat homeowner. And if someone they're a convicted felon, they did something in their past, people make stupid mistakes. They do things. Why? I can't believe I did that. And they change their lives. They get on the right track, but they're not going to qualify because of that. They can't own a house. They have land. They have a great job. They're a great community person and citizen. They just want to own a house. They can qualify with Habitat. Second chance right there. We have some of our best homeowners. They've been to prison. They're awesome. And they're living a life in a house they own, and they never thought they could do it. We have veterans qualifying. Love to build a house for a veteran. If you're elderly, we're trying to kind of get a program. We're applying for a grant right now to build smaller houses, tiny houses for single individuals, disabled individuals. We want everyone to own a house that can qualify, and so expensive to do that now. So I'm just afraid I've got to raise more money, because we have land, we have great construction people, we have volunteers. I just need the money to fund the construction, because we want to build it out. We want everyone who's willing to work to own a home. Everybody wants it. I went down to the CVS by the Restore, met this amazing clerk. We just started talking about Habitat. She's like, oh my gosh, the dream of my life is to own a house. She's older. She's like, and now my daughter, who's a single mom, needs a house. But I really want the manager of the store, who's a wonderful person, who's a single mom with 6 kids. We want her to own a house first. Can we all have a Habitat? So they're all going to come to our workshop. I'm like, everyone at CVS needs a house. It's just like essential workers, people who work so hard. We
Mhm.
want CVS to be open. We want to go get our prescriptions. We want to buy things there. But why should they not own a house? They work so hard, harder than me.
Sure.
You know, they deserve what everybody deserves, a chance, but they just aren't going to make enough money there to qualify. So we've got to do this. We've got to build more houses, and all over the country, habitats all over the world just need people to give their money, their time. If everybody does it, all the churches, this is a mission field across Avenue A right now. How could you not do it? So everyone needs to come see it. If you come to the Blitz, you're hooked. You're going to do it.
Yeah,
Money,
and that's
volunteers.
perfect segue, Christy. You mentioned the Blitz, and we do have a question that Kim has that you're about to answer in this response here, which is how long does it take to build a habitat home? Because I think people are going to be blown away. I've volunteered for the Blitz build, which takes place in September. I asked this question when we started. I was involved in the process and was blown away by how quickly this happened. So, can you talk a little bit about that part of the process? Because you mentioned they got to do their class hours, they got to get all their financials and everything in order that they might need, and then they got to put in the work. And so, uh, tell us about Blitz Build and how long does it take to build these houses?
Well, that's why we started the Blitz, because we want to whip it out and make it fun. 3 houses in 12 days. So that's amazing. And guess how we can actually finish them inside and out in 12 days. If everybody comes, we want 300 people a day. If we got 300, we could do it. If everything goes as planned, and it never does in construction, but we've got great problem solvers, and God blesses us, and we pray all the time, and it could happen. Last year was the furthest we've got. We got all the exteriors done by the end of the 12th day, and we got the insides done to the point where the cabinets were up. And the homeowners that we have just approved for they still are going to be doing their hours. So there is time to finish out the houses. But I mean, we have never had a homeowner waiting on construction. We're just waiting on them because we do not want to rush that process. If they're ready, it's going to go fast for them. But for a lot of people, they have never had the opportunity to learn financial literacy, to learn how to manage their money, to learn how to do home maintenance and be a homeowner. So we don't ever want to foreclose. I've only had to do that one time in 5 years. And she really admitted she should have never been in the program. She had moved out with her boyfriend. She wasn't even living there. It was very amiable. We needed just to have that house for someone else, but we would never want to do that. So that's the part of the process we want to take our time with. But that construction, we can get it done. And so the Blitz is amazing. There are concrete slabs poured right now on East Dartmouth Street. You can go out and see them, go look at where they're going to be. And we start there on Labor Day at 8 o'clock that morning. By 10 o'clock, when the TV cameras come, which they love to come, we want to stand the walls. We want everyone in Lubbock standing those walls. And it's so cool. And then we are framing that house. If you don't think you can frame a house and you're 18 and up, you can frame a house on Labor Day. Brittany can show anyone how to frame a house. And yes, our project manager is a girl. She is 26. She is awesome. And she has a young guy who's a sidekick now, Tyler. He just graduated from Texas Tech. He thought he'd go off and be some big builder. He's like, I love Habitat. I want to stay here. So we hired, it just transforms you. And you'll be transformed if you come out. And you don't have to have any skills. You really don't. We can show you and you'll be framing. And then we just start the process. We've got this punch list and we have the schedule and we have volunteer house leads and everybody gets a shirt and breakfast and lunch and snacks and everyone's donating all of that. And we still need more food. It's just amazing. You'll be building a house next to a homeowner, next to people, all different ethnicities, all different socioeconomic groups, all different ages and genders, and all kinds of everybody identifies as whoever they want to be that day. We want everyone together. That's what Lubbock needs. Everyone comes together to help build houses for people who work hard and want this and they're hungry for it. They just need a little bit of help, a hand up. So that's the Blitz.
Christy, you're such a good cheerleader for your organization, and you've given us such a good overview of the program and how people can get in on that and its history. well, two things strike me. One is just like, how many different aspects of your program and Habitat for Humanity are geared towards lowering barriers to entry for volunteers, for homeowners, for people who would like to give charitably. And then the other thing that really strikes me about your mission is how every aspect of it is like really intervening and is reparative and restorative work that has like magnifying potential, because like taking people from a position of financial insecurity to a place where they're like building long-term value and equity has the potential for like generational implications, you know? And so I don't know that I really have a question so much. I'm just wondering, you get to see this dimension so firsthand in a way that some of the rest of us don't. So, you know, maybe you just want to like say some more about that and how this is transformational for families, for communities, for our city.
Well, like, for example, one of our new homeowners who's living in one of last year's Blitz houses, he was in prison just a year or two ago. He's told his story, you know, to people, and he's got a teenage son. And it's funny, his first wife is a great Habitat homeowner. She ended up going back to school at LCU. She works at LCU, has a great job. She's paid off her. She's just incredible. So he saw, you know, what Habitat was and how that could work for him. And I mean, already he was living in such an unsafe area. He felt that he had to go stay with someone with his son until his house was finished. He was so scared, and he's a huge man, very big presence, you know, and he said, I just can't wait to be in a safe neighborhood, like the Habitat neighborhood where we're building. Guess where we're building? In East Lubbock, on East Dartmouth. And that was so cool to me that this is considered safe, because, you know, that is just not what everybody thinks about East Lubbock, which is ridiculous. And I think that's so cool that we can build a safe place for his son. And you see these homeowners, all different kinds of people on this first street in that subdivision. And at first, you know, we're building these houses one at a time since I came, and now we have this whole street, and you've started to see the kids come out. And there's this one basketball goal, and they're playing together, and they're out there at night, and they're just all together, and it's built a community. So not only are the bricks and mortar there to provide security for these kids, and they are more likely to stay in school, finish school, stay out of trouble. Their health is better, like actual health care. That, you know, we've seen statistics showing, studies have been done on Habitat homeowners and how it changes lives to have a stable home. But now this community, these people, they feel like they have their back, you know, and not only is Habitat behind them for 30 years, they've also got their network of people. And at first we have trouble in the neighborhood, you know, it's a neighborhood, but now all that's kind of stopped, and everybody's kind of loving on each other and coming out and trusting. A lot of people have never been able to trust at all. No one has ever done anything for some of our homeowners to show them love. They can't even believe anybody would give their time to come do anything nice for anybody else, much less them building a house for them. Why would they give up a weekend to do that? And they see it. And that just is transformative. And they start to believe in humanity, and they are restored. That word's so good. And we have the Habitat Restore, where we sell things to raise money, because it's the whole thing is restorative. And I think that transforms their soul. And that's the way God uses Habitat to change people's lives. The house is amazing. It's needed. But the process of building this house with love, with volunteers, and the Blitz is just like on steroids in your face. We also I hope to do a veterans build. I need money to build another house the week of Veterans Day. Give me money for veterans. I'm asking, we have people wanting to do it. We have veterans applying. I need money. I need to fund a $120,000 house. That's what I need. Give me that money for a veteran. You love America. You're patriotic. Let's show the people who have served that need a decent place to live that we can pull together and raise this money and come out and build it. How cool was that last year? And that homeowner's about to move in. He's amazing. Then also MLK Day. We love it. The Texas Tech Red Raider football team comes every year, and now Reliant Energy wants to sponsor signature event. They want to start getting enough money to us to to build a whole house eventually on MLK Day. It's just grown into this huge event for us. I believe in Lubbock. I've lived here all my life. I've always wanted East Lubbock to be better and all of Lubbock to be better. And I can't believe God's put me in position to just, like you said, see it firsthand. I have very little to do with it. I'm just a catalyst, but I just know we can do this as a community. Everybody wants the same thing, and we've got to love each other. And life's too short. It's too hard. And we never stop building through COVID. You know, we're never going to stop. No one's ever going to stop Habitat.
Yeah. And, I do have to express my appreciation for you all having focused so much on East Lubbock. As you know, that's where I grew up, not far from where you do these habitat builds, literally probably a few blocks away. Actually, I used to live 2 blocks away from where you do that build for quite a while. And so you mentioned it, and we mentioned it many times on the show, there's this misconception a lot of times in Lubbock about East Lubbock and what it's like and what the culture is there and how the people are in East Lubbock. And for those, again, I'll remind everybody, as I always have to, we are speaking of East Lubbock, east of I-27. This is the area of town where a lot of folks west of I-27 don't even know that it exists, but it does. And it's a normal neighborhood like you would have around any other part of the city. There's hardworking people, there's professional people, there's kids and families and everything you would have in any other community. Do we have issues in our community? Yes, but we've seen that across the city. So this misconception that people have is kind of unfounded. And I'm glad that y'all have seen not only the opportunities there, but that you stepped up to do something about it in a very real way. And so I have to say, I appreciate that very much. Also, another great segue you just gave us. You do need lots of money to build these houses, especially now that supplies have gone way up, right? It's not necessarily the labor cost that's killing everybody right now. It is the materials costs for sure. And so being that you all need these resources, how can people help, whether monetarily or with their volunteerism? How can people contribute to this cause and get involved and help you all build that $120,000 house for that veteran?
Well, they just need to go online, lubbockhabitat.org, go to our website, give, come to the Restore, give in person, call us, 806-763-4663, give over the phone. We would love to take money. Anyway, you could still write a check. We take checks for money, whatever you need to do. Then also you can go to the Restore. You can donate. If you have stuff that you think we can sell, anything without bed bugs, we're going to try and take it and sell it if it's decent. We sell furniture, building supplies, clothes, shoes, home decor, all kinds of things, exercise equipment, just cool, unusual things sell really well. We're open 10 to 6, Monday through Saturday at 3630 50th Street, right next to Whitewood Bowling Lanes. It's a great location, and they can donate, and we'll even come get it with our box truck. And we need the inventory to be able to sell it. But then you shop there. I buy almost all my clothes at Habitat. It's so awesome. And it's just, we've got great stuff. If you've got a new house, all our Habitat homeowners get a lot of their furniture there. My daughter just got her first house here, and she got all her stuff at the Restore. Appliances at work. It's just, well, who wants to go buy new stuff? It's so cool to repurpose things. We have a DIY day every month. So if you support the Restore, the money goes to build houses. You could just give directly. You can sponsor the Blitz. Yes, you could still get your logo on the shirt until Tuesday. So just let me know, any business, any level of sponsorship. And then we have a big event called Hard Hats and Heels. It's a party. It's June 8th at the Ranching Heritage Center. We raised over $100,000 last year. It grew so fast. It is so much fun. If you're going to go out on the weekend, go to one of these events that nonprofits have. Go to a gala, buy a ticket, have a meal, do an auction, and raise money for a cause. Don't just, go out, raise money. NAACP banquet's coming up. I'm going to go to that. That's a great way to give your money. Just always think of that. So those are all the ways, and it's never too late. Every single dollar counts. Every purchase you make at the Restore counts. And if you want to volunteer, LubbockHabitat.org, go to news and events. The Blitz sign up's going to show up. Peace, Love, Blitz. Oh my gosh, we're going to have a real van out there. You get your picture made. It's going to be so fun. I think I'm going to wear my old, 60s clothes. I'm not that old, really. But anyway, just come out. If you're 18 and up, you wear closed-toed shoes, just come. And if you don't know how to sign up, just show up. Labor Day, September 4th, 8 a.m. to 5. Every single day, we cut it off at lunch on September 15th, that Friday. We're going to have a celebration. You can come out there. We have a QR code and we'll sign you up there. We just want everyone to love it. And if you don't want to work, just come look. Just come out there and see it. And then you'll see what Habitat is and you'll feel the love. That is our guiding principle, demonstrate the love of Jesus Christ. We have not done this. God did this. We were given this land. The city of Lubbock just gave us over $1 million to build out the infrastructure. And then they gave us more because those costs went up. We love that. We love that the city of Lubbock supporting Habitat. Everybody's supporting Habitat and we need it. So we're going to build 80 houses out there and we're not stopping. And if there's land somewhere else, let us know. We may build there too. We could build all over Lubbock. We have multiple sites we can do. And we just want everyone to have a house. If they're ready to work, we're ready to help.
Gosh, I can't thank you enough for, telling us all about your organization, but also like taking the time to plug how important it is that our community support. We're really lucky. We get a lot of people who come on the show who are doing incredible and important work in our community. Yourself and Habitat is certainly a top tier of that. And so we also hope that people who are so inclined and who are able are supporting the work of all these incredible organizations, very much including Habitat. And we love to see it when we're able to put public money towards that, especially because it goes so far when it is contributed in these organizations that are really contributing their everything into our community. And we love to see private entities and private businesses in our churches step up to the plate. And so I'm so glad you put out that call to action to just really anybody who can respond to this, who is so inclined and has the means to really come out, because there are so many good organizations in our community that could use your support and where your investment will go very far indeed. And Habitat is certainly no exception to that. Thank you so much for coming and telling us about it. I'm looking forward to getting back in the store and seeing you in person. Adam?
Yeah, I just want to really echo the call to action for folks to get involved with the Blitz build. That's the easiest way, maybe not the easiest, but it's one of the quickest ways to get involved in this work. You can show up, you can leave when you need to. I will be out there at least one day. I have a very busy September, but I will commit to at least one day. I'm going to try to maybe do 2 or 3 if I can, but I'll have to look at the schedule. But just go out there. Christy is not kidding when she says that you don't need any experience. Now, I've had lots of construction experience, so I've done that a lot in my life. But there were plenty of people out there who had never done that. They do all sorts of other professions. You had lots of tech students out there who had never done that work. There's plenty of people out there to help you and to direct you and guide you. And it's just really, it's an amazing thing to see and be a part of. And I've had experience with construction, and so when you start the day and then you look up like in the afternoon and like there's so much done because there's been like all these people crawling over this house getting all this stuff done, it's really amazing. You get to meet a lot of great people, you get to eat for free, you get a shirt, and so it's really cool. I would just say if you haven't done it, this is something that you should do for yourself at least one time in your life. Also, if you need a home or if you'd like to be a homeowner and maybe you can't afford to go about it the regular way, then this is a great option for you. I do have to say that besides the home ownership and that you will have an asset that you can, like Josh said, have generational wealth, if you play it right. The other part of this that I think has so much value is that you're learning so much, not only about the process of buying a home, but also improving yourself through that process of going through those workshops. I can speak to this. Until 2016, I didn't even know what my credit score was. I didn't, I was one of those people, I don't use credit, don't need credit. I'm just going to pay cash for everything. And so credit is so important, not just for buying houses, but for so many other things. And so going through that process and understanding how that works, it really does set you up to start making some other things move in your life. And I guess that's the most beautiful part to me, is that you all are providing folks not only an opportunity, but the knowledge and the tools to really improve their life in a very real way, not just for them, but for their kids and their family. And so just amazing, amazing work that you guys do. And thank you so much for being on the show. Is there anything else you want to plug before we let you go and get into
I
city
just
updates?
think, Josh, I have seen you out there, Adam, and you are awesome, rocking the man bun at the Blitz. And gosh, we love it when you come out. But I think Josh would look really good in a hard hat. I think he's like Bob the Builder in disguise. He doesn't even know. I think he could unleash on the power tools this year. Do you think he needs to come?
Yeah, I think he does, and he's
I
definitely
can
used to
see it.
being dirty, because he works on a farm a lot, and so he's used to being in the dirt and working.
He's got to
So
get out there. Yeah, I got to see you out there, Josh.
I'm
looking good.
overdue, and you are a consummate voluntold representative. Your invitation is duly accepted. You can.
Awesome. I'm the only one that they don't let do construction. I've tried, and they're like, "You're so bad, Christy. You can demo
Hey,
our house."
you
But
gotta twist
other
your
than that,
arm
you
if
just
you're gonna
talk
do
on
what
TV.
you like.
I'm the only one.
Christy,
Well, y'all are amazing. Thank you so much. We'll see everybody on Labor Day and the 12 days after that. Pray for us, if nothing else, to whoever you pray to, throw one up there for Habitat, money, people, food. Let's do it.
awesome. And
yeah.
Kim has put down, folks, the website to Habitat for Humanity, also the information for the restore. So uh, anytime you can check that out and follow those links and get in touch and help out with the mission. And also go by the restore. Lots of great stuff there. I know a lot of people like to go thrifting and things like that. Perfect opportunity to do something you love and help out a great cause. So thanks, Christy. We're going to get into city updates. We will let you go. I know you're a very busy person. And
So much.
thanks for being on.
All right. See you next time. Y'all have a great
All
rest
right.
of the show. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, Josh, we got some city updates. I'll let you kick us off here.
Well, you want to do the community resource spotlight since we
Thanks
got
for
all
that. Yeah.
loaded up?
Yeah. Forgot about the community resource spotlight.
I'll
So
look through my notes.
yeah, speaking of housing and things related to housing, our community resource spotlight is the owner occupied home rehabilitation program that is done by the City of Lubbock Community Development Department. And so community development does this every year. They have an open enrollment. It begins August 15th. And so it's going on right now, August 15th, 2023, until August 31st of 2023 at 5 p.m. So you've got a little while to enroll for this. And the City of Lubbock Community Development does these minor rehabilitation programs to fix things in your home or on your home that you may not be able to afford, but that needs fixing. And so it's a case by case basis, but basically you go on and apply and enroll. There's usually a wait list, but I would get on that wait list. You can do the pre-screening. You can call them at 806-775-2296 to do a pre-screening to see if you'll even qualify before you have to do anything else, so you don't waste your time if you don't qualify. But I would give them a call, 806-775-2296. That's City of Lubbock Community Development. And there are some requirements for this. So the home must be owner occupied. So you got to be the owner of the home and living in it. The home must be located within the city limits of Lubbock. So this is not Lubbock County. This is just the City of Lubbock. And total household income cannot exceed the income limit. So if you're just one person in a home, income limit is 46,700. If you're four people in a home, income limit is $8,650, and it kind of goes up from there. And so if you meet those minimum requirements and you get enrolled, again, there may be a wait list, but you could get some of those things fixed in your home. I've seen them do repairs to kitchens and various other things. It just really kind of depends on your situation. And so I would give them a call, talk to them about your situation, and try to get in on that. A great community resource. It happens every year. And if you don't, if you're not ready for it this year, make sure you try to do that next year. They do this every August, if I'm not mistaken. And so once again, community development, City of Lubbock, owner occupied home rehabilitation program. Give them a call at 806-775-2296. All right. You ready, Josh?
Yep, great update, Adam. So we're just gonna go through a few things that have come up in the last couple of weeks that we've been watching or following for some time. Give some people some of those last sleepy summer city government updates. We mentioned no, we didn't get a chance to mention it last week, but there are other bigger pieces coming up and underway, like the city budget, and we're going to get into that a little bit more deeply when we have our show together. But just to hit a few of the highlight reels as we're closing out the show today, folks might remember we've covered for a long time the city's ARPA funds. This is the American Rescue Plan Act funds appropriated by Congress as recovery from the pandemic. City got a certain amount of that based on its population, and it was appropriated for all kinds of things, you know, essentially to help people recover after the pandemic. This went to stuff like broadband and money for a diversion center that's going to help with substance abuse and homelessness, grants and other funds that were to help the artist community. And we're still spending down that money. We still have projects here underway, but there's been some shuffling around and some changes in this. Primarily, the piece set aside to do broadband development into the city, they got rid of that because this has actually been overtaken by some subsequent state and federal funding. And so it was really kind of overkill. And so some of those funds set up for broadband have been shuffled around into some other areas, like the job training area, extra money for the parks department. They're doing a little bit more into some infrastructure pieces to get those a little bit farther along, like water projects and some utility work. But even shuffling that around, there's still $10 million left unappropriated in this pot. And they've got till December 31st to do that. So, you know, folks out there that might have some ideas about this, that might want to speak to this, it's a good time to mention it to the council. We're typically people that do this as well. And so we're kind of considering it. Adam, anything on the top of your head that you think you should be done with this $10 million? I know there's certain stipulations on what it can and can't be used for.
Yeah, there are definitely stipulations. I mean, there's many things we can do. I will make one correction though. We do have to have it spent by December 31st of next year, 2024.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so so you do have a little time. You got the rest of this year and next year. There are some stipulations. They're kind of loose though. So if you have an idea, I would contact your council person, email them, give them a call, or go up to Citizens Tower and present your idea, get them, you know, all the information that you can about it, and kind of, you know, give them as much stuff so that they can hopefully make a good decision in your favor. So again, I don't have anything right off the top of my head to think of right at the moment, but I would just encourage folks, whatever your ideas are that you think the city may be able to allocate these funds for. Again, 10 million, when you're talking about a city, doesn't go a super long way, but it does go quite a ways. So I don't know what ideas folks might have out there, but get them into your council person, get them to the city, and present
I
them.
suppose they could cut everybody a $5 dividend check. I think that's one thing you
Mhm.
can do is directly appropriate. I don't know. I
That
wouldn't
it,
count
you
on it.
can actually, yeah, they could if they wanted
Um,
to, sure.
So yeah, and then I mentioned this, the city always does its annual budget session starting up in August. City departments have been preparing for this for a while. There's a lot of moving pieces before it starts being presented to council and whittled down to its last little bit. And that's starting to shape up, and we'll have a full report about that and kind of all the details. But just quickly, they have what they have voted on already is setting the base tax rate, and they were able to set this at a position that is above the no new revenue rate, so more tax money than would keep us from earning any extra revenue from extra property or anything that's added to the tax roll, which functionally in Lubbock, since it's a growing city, means actually lowering the tax rate for a no new revenue. So it's above that, but it's below the level that would need to be voted on by the citizens, and cities like to do that because it's very complicated. So in general, it stays a pretty flat budget that continues to retire debt. It does continue to protect our levels of particular reserves. And that's about what you might expect in a city. But as you well know, we've been tracking and off-scene complaints about how strapped out certain resources of the city are, including solid waste, including animal control. We're kind of running behind our debt obligations with how much growth the city has. The impact fees didn't repair that very much. And so there's just not a whole lot of wiggle room here. And so many things are groaning under that. So while our city continues to be in good fiscal shape, it continues to be benchmarked around its peers. There's some room for improvement here. One bright side I would note is that the council was really adamant about doing a 4% raise across the board for all civil service and non-civil service employees. It was originally that the police and fire were going to get 4 and non-civil service was going to get 3.75, and several members on the council expressed that they want to do that across the board. Everybody gets the same. This does continue to benchmark our staff a little bit better with the rest of the state and allow us to be competitive and recruit and retain that, along with several cycles of readjusting these in a fashion that benefits the lowest level employees, the onboarding employees, so that those are able to be recruited for. So the city's salaries continue to come into better alignment, but this is still an area that could use improvement. So those are some highlights of the budget. Any comments there?
Yeah, I do actually. Just a couple. The first one, I have to mention this. We've talked about our great dismay when this council, led by the current mayor, decided to do the no new revenue rate. And we have to kind of harp on this for a minute because, as Josh kind of stated, we hear a lot of complaints all of the time from the citizenry about all sorts of things. Usually, those are city services or city park infrastructure or things of this nature. And it's just like your home. If you don't want to pay somebody to come out and cut your grass and you don't cut it, the grass doesn't get cut and you got a jungle out in your front yard. That's what happens. If you don't want to pay a plumber to come fix your plumbing issues, you're just not going to have running water, or you're going to have stuff backing up or whatever is happening because you didn't want to spend those resources to do that. So the fix, what I'm getting at, the fix to a lot of the complaints that the citizenry has is that we need to pay for them. We need to pay for them at a rate that we're growing, not at a rate that people want us to grow, not at a rate that they wish we would grow, and not at a rate that you think Lubbock is. Lubbock is growing exponentially. I've said this many times. That means that we're growing very, very fast. And you can't spend money like you're growing at a regular speed when you're going very, very fast. And so when they made the no new revenue rate, if you all remember, I've said it many times since then, you're going to have to raise it, because in a city Lubbock size, you cannot do that. It's unsustainable. And again, especially when you're growing so fast. And so we knew that it was going to go up. This just confirms what we were talking about. Uh, you know, they're never probably going to raise it to the point to where they would have to have a vote from the people, for a couple of reasons. Like Josh said, it's very complicated and hard to do. And number two, it really wouldn't help much anyway. If we can just raise it to a reasonable amount and spend the money where we need to spend the money, we'd be so much better off. The second thing is the raises for the employees that I want to kind of comment on here. As far as I know, the 4% probably does not still bring us to the state average. And so I think at a bare minimum, Lubbock should be at the state average for not only city employees, but also our city bus employees that are not at the state average. And so this is one of those things where if you want your people to take care of everything you need them to take care of and be at their best doing that, then you need to take care of your people who are doing that work. Our city departments, the people who are out every day on the streets or out behind the scenes making all of these things happen, they work very hard, and I'm sure it doesn't help them to know that they're below the state average, and some of them unfortunately are on food stamps, and I think that that's unacceptable. And so while I see this as a good thing, that's definitely great that they bumped it up 4%. I know that some of these things have to happen gradually. I would like to see more of that, but just my 2 cents on that.
Right, yeah. Couple other things. These are, super fast. We can power through these quick. One is folks might have seen Lubbock Animal Shelter had a distemper outbreak. That was really tragic. We've been following this situation a long time in Lubbock. They're back in action now and back operational. I did think it was important to bring this to attention because, just like you said, this is another area where we don't have resiliency built in because of really cutting it to the teeth, after successive cycles. This is an area we continue to need to invest in. And even, so in the budget meetings, they definitely are going to be hiring one new animal control officer. And we're trying to push it to 2. And this is something that overlaps with something we've talked about. They're not able to get a truck for that officer to use probably in the next year, and so they could hire the human, but there'd be no way for them to patrol the streets, and so the can gets kicked even one year farther, where they might have wanted to add 2 right now, and we definitely need it. Instead, we're going to get 1. That's a good improvement, but we're going to have to wait on that other one. So you see where this starts to compound. Okay. Last 2 updates are things we've been following and upcoming city meetings. One is, folks might remember, we were following the student housing project going up in South Overton. This had its meeting in front of planning and zoning. It was interesting to see advocates from South Overton, from Heart of Lubbock, and from Tech Terrace kind of all come together on this, same way they did on the student housing development in Tech Terrace. So it's kind of interesting to see this cross neighborhood organizing that I think is proving really successful and is a great thing to see. It's exactly the type of thing we'd want to see fostered to help the people's voice be better heard in these meetings. However, it did pass out of planning and zoning. This is the same as the housing development went in Tech Terrace. If you're asking me to speculate here, I suspect it's because there's nothing technically wrong with the application. And so planning and zoning feels somewhat obligated to pass this on to city council to make a choice about. And so that's where it is. It's been passed out of planning and zoning. It'll go before city council. That meeting is August 22nd at 2 p.m. So that will be on the August 22nd meeting. I expect advocates will be there. They're already working on it. If this is something that you have cared about or followed or would like to speak to, August 22nd city council meeting is where that will be the time for that. And then the other thing that was a call to action that we thought we'd remind people and update them about is that the joint session of planning and zoning, where amendments to the Unified Development Code will be discussed. This came up on last week's show with Dora and Adam. They're asking folks to be in attendance there, to speak if they were so moved, but otherwise stand in solidarity. This is a public hearing, and so anybody can speak about anything, kind of open-ended, but we wanted to remind people that that meeting happens August 30th at 2 p.m., also at Citizens Tower. So there are your two calls to action and meetings that we've been following. August 22nd, 2 p.m., Citizens Tower for the Student Housing Project, South Overton. August 30th, 2 p.m., Citizens Tower for the Unified Development Code. Adam?
Yeah, I would just say make sure you get out there on the 30th if you are concerned, particularly about the issue that we've been talking about, the industrial sites next to neighborhoods. This is another opportunity to let the council know that the city at large would like to see this rectified. And again, you don't have to speak. If you just want to go and sit in solidarity with us, then that would be great as well. So that's really all I wanted to say on that.
Cool. Yeah. Well, and then I know we got a couple of things that we want to plug and promote that are self-promotion. I know that I wanted to mention to our audience that our YouTube channel is back in action. I know a lot of people get their news and media there. We have some videos up, and so folks that might want to see that can look at our Facebook page or just search us on YouTube. You will find two different channels, but they're all dated and indexed, and so pick your poison. And then Adam, maybe you want to tell people about next week's show and kind of plug that a little bit.
Yeah, so on next week's show, we did a show, I can't remember how many weeks back, but we did a show letting everybody know about Freedom Act Lubbock, which is the petition initiative to decriminalize low-level marijuana possession for adults in the city of Lubbock. And so we are actually initiating that petition process, officially kicking it off by submitting the paperwork on this Friday, the 18th. And so that starts the clock for the 60 days that we will have to collect our signatures. And as a reminder to everybody, we technically need a little over 4,800 signatures. We are shooting for 7,500 to 10,000 within the 60 days. The reason being is that some of those will be thrown out because they're either not legible, or maybe somebody isn't registered to vote at all, or maybe they're registered to vote in some other city or whatever. So there will be some that are thrown out. So to account for that and make sure that we still meet the requirement, we're shooting for 7,500 to 10,000 signatures in 60 days. This does amount to about 150 to 170 signatures per day for that 60 days. So if you would like to volunteer for this effort, you can go to freedomactlubbock.org and you can go and put your contact information in there. You can reach out to us on Facebook or Instagram or any of the things and let us know that you would like to volunteer. We need many, many people to get these signatures. And so there's plenty of events that we have already lined up that you can sign up to attend. And again, this is not something super hard to do. You'll be out with a clipboard and collecting signatures. And so if you would like to help us do that, go to freedomactlubbock.org. We are going to, on next week's show, talk with Kim Gonzalez, Cannon Roberts, and a special guest of the show, Austin Samariri, who is the executive director of Texas Cannabis Collective, who is a Texas lobbying group that works for cannabis reform here in the state at the state level every time there's a state leg session. And they are helping us with this initiative. They're behind this initiative, and we're going to talk to them to learn more about what they do in the state at large, but also how that will look when they're coming to help us in Lubbock. And so if you would like to know more information about this, then make sure you tune in next week and we will have some more information for you.
Yep. Well, only a couple minutes over. Good work, team.
That's right. Yeah. And so this is the time that I remind everybody to join your neighborhood association. That's the first one of the first ways that you can start to learn more about city policy processes, as well as getting resources and learning how to help out your community or being involved in helping out your community. And so join your neighborhood association meeting. We would love to see you back here on next week's show. And we would love to have you helping out with any of the things that we've talked about today, Habitat for Humanity, all these other great things. Thanks again for Christy and Habitat for being on the show. And again, just share this far and wide, let everybody know about Habitat for Humanity and everything that's going on here. And so thanks, everybody. We will see you next time.
Bye.